see you. Yeah,
Welcome back as we get set for this huge game at Etihad Stadium. The roof is closed, ideal conditions. The Bombers' home ground, believe it or not, but they're the away team. Geelong have come up the Geelong Road with all those speed humps and potholes and speed cameras and all the other things we had there before. And there he is, Joe Watson, after a tough week, after a tough season at Essendon. He gets his chance to actually get out and do it where he likes to do it the best, and that is on the ground. Boys, let's get your predictions. Mark Rasciuto first up. What do you reckon? What's going to be the highlight, the headline for you?
Oh, the headline, I think Watson for 2 quiet weeks in a row. I love Joe Watson. I think he's, if he's not the best, he's second best as the captain in the comp, but I think Hall and Smith will do the job and the Cats will be too good.
Mark McClure.
Harry Taylor to kick more goals. Kicked 9 already. I think he'll get some more this week. He just continues to improve.
Will he go forward or will he do that from the back line?
He can do it from wherever he wants to. Ed.
Doesn't matter.
No matter. Nothing matters really.
That's it?
No.
It's just have a cognac at 3/4 time. Jono.
Stoke the fire tonight. Don't worry about that. Matty Stokes, he's in excellent form and he will have 30, kick 2 and have 9 score involvements tonight. He is a man in early All-Australian form.
All right, David King, what have you got for us, Kingy?
Just a speed hump tonight, the Bombers said. Just a speed hump on that Geelong freeway. I think if they start well, this could be a big margin in my opinion. I think the Cats are on fire.
And Jared Healy, what have you got for us, mate?
Well, I did say roadworks, and I think we've gone through the roadworks enough. But just one point, Ed. I think if they do lose this one, the Bombers, there'll be a lot of close introspection on the selection of Scott Gumbleton over Paddy Ryder. But I would support James Hird on this. I think you've got to have integrity in selection. Gumbleton has worked hard to get his spot in the side. He's played well, and I think it's been honoured by James Hird. And there's a good message for Paddy Ryder. If you lose your space in this side because of a dumb incident, well, you just don't naturally get it back.
All right, good on you, Jared. I reckon hard week, hard result. The pressure's going to come down on the Bombers. They're up against a great side, and it might just crack tonight. Let's see what happens. Boys, I'll grab your selections. Roo, who are you going for?
Geelong.
You going for Geelong?
Yep.
Oh, they're the best side I've seen for some time, and what would make it any different tonight?
Yep.
I agree as well. Ed, I think it'll be a close game, but Geelong will be just too good in the end.
People building up. Kingy, are you still there? And Jared, I presume you're both going for the Cats?
Yeah, the Cats well for me. I think that if they start well, look out. I went for Essendon, and I think they've been the form side of the year. Tipped Geelong for the flag, but tonight I think Essendon will continue their unbeaten run.
All right, well, there's Paddy Ryder, of course, sitting in the stands. And Jared and Kingy make a really good point there, that one of the things when you are a strong side is that you don't just walk in and out of the side. You do stupid things, you pay the price. And it's good to see Paddy Ryder having to come through the reserves there. Joel Selwood, what an absolute superstar. You talk about guys who have grown with the captaincy, who've grown into it. He was born to be a leader.
Goddard taken over already.
Yeah, good to see Goddard in there early while Job is coming back from tossing the coin. Big Bell Chambers in as well. He needs to lift. He has been given the job. Paddy Ryder used to be the number 1 ruckman. Bell Chambers has got it at the moment. And the Geelong boys getting together as well.
Bell Chambers are going to have to ruck for probably 90% of the night tonight. It'll be a big role for him.
He's got no one else.
Gumbleton.
No, Gumboots can't ruck.
Hooker's got to go to Selwood, doesn't he?
There you go, the boys all getting together. This has become a bit of a feature now in football before the start of the game.
They started this, the Cats, a few years ago when they got on that premiership run. This is one of the initiatives they brought into the game, and it's amazing when a side succeeds, all the other teams will follow.
They were doing that in the 70s,
I was going to say, I don't know. Jono's just invented this one thing. Like John McHale used to do that. What are you talking about, Jono? They invented it. There you go.
It was more tight back then, Ed. Now it's just a bit more open. You can see everyone.
Collingwood been doing it in the goal square for years.
Let me see it.
Hang on.
Everything's new, but
always
nothing's
back
new.
to Collingwood.
All right, I tell you what, it is going to be an absolute ripper. They're in position now. Hawkins has had a couple of quiet weeks. You expect him to really bring his A-grade game to the table tonight. It is packed out. It was sold out today. There were no standing room tickets, no public passes available whatsoever. It's as big a crowd as you can get into Etihad Stadium. Poor Job, he's sweated up a treat as he is already. He's in the mounting yard. You'd back him, wouldn't you?
Got the oil on too on the arms.
Got the oil up, ready to go.
Right on football.
Yeah, it's all
Jono
go.
loves that.
What does that do for you, that oil?
Oh, it just makes your muscles look bigger.
Makes you slippery early on. Can't tackle you. It's more a mindset than anything else, isn't it?
It's only oil, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I hope so. Snake oil, Ed. Snake oil.
Snake oil. Good stuff, mate. Harry Taylor's gone back. He's in the back line to start with here. Winderlick there.
Winderlick to Enright.
Yeah. So interesting stuff. And there you can see Carlisle has gone to Hawkins, and the man we expected to be third up there was Dustin Fletcher. Let's head to the Etihad Stadium now and get ready to go for what is going to be an absolute belter of a game tonight. as the Essendon Football Club 6-0 take on Geelong 6-0. Away we go.
As we start this game then, the Rucks go at it, one down by Bell Chambers. First kick of the game, blanketed, came from Goddard. Heppel falling to the ground. Bagley deflects it across to Zaharakis, who kicks a high one down towards half forward. Harry's in the road though, well played by Taylor, thumped it down. Lonergan hand passes up in the air. Heppel lost the footy. Cramry tackled about 55 metres out, and the umpire will ball it up. Nick Revolt made the point. No excuses tonight in terms of the conditions out there. Bell Chambers, the hurried kick forward. Plenty of cats at the drop. Well done by Taylor. That was a terrific grab. Plenty of courage there. They were coming from all angles. They were going to meet at the footy. Harry just eyes for the football. Smets a little 1-2 and again with Motlop. Clever kick by Motlop. Gave it to Stokes. Hand passes forward. Down goes Lonergan. Loose ball picked up by Ryder. Goes to Watson. Upended. Umpire will call for this one inside the centre square.
Great tackle by Johnson there. Gee, he was quick on to Joe Watson.
Might be one to watch, Bruce. I reckon Stevie Johnson spending a lot of time in the midfield, whether he actually spends a lot of time close to Joe Watson.
It looks like Taylor might have early, so we thought Lonergan may go there.
Mackey's playing as the third tall for the Geelong defence also.
So Podsiadly gets it from Johnson, and Geelong on the burst here. Smets, he's got a pretty good record against the Bombers, and that's a brilliant kick inside, and Blitzarf takes the mark. So they open them up there.
Come out the side, Brendan. Come out the
It's
side.
almost a respects thing, really. You've got Blitzarf, who's new to the game and not a goal kicker, obviously, and he shouldn't be allowed to get that much space in the defensive 50.
He didn't start in the ruck, did he? So, in fact, I don't think Bell Chambers is a direct opponent, but he slipped someone. Probably Fletcher, I think, was a direct matchup going in.
So his only goal in his short career to date was last week against the Tigers, until now an unlikely first goal scorer in the blockbuster. So Johnson, Podsiadly, and then Smets and Blitzarf. So sort of uncontested footy there, which will not please the Bombers, and the Cats able to get the first one on the board. What a remarkable player Johnson is. I mean, he was averaging about 19 disposals when he was kicking 50 and 60 goals, and now he's become a genuine midfielder, hasn't
It
he?
all started when he got the free kick on the periphery of the stoppage, and as soon as that happened, then everything is unbalanced in terms of Essendon's defence.
I mean, he's almost a typical project player, Blitzarf. He's been a really good foil in the ruck for the Cats going forward, and enjoyed that goal, that's for sure. And young Jackson Thurlow's also come onto the ground for his first run tonight.
Cats lead it by 6 points. Bell Chambers wins it down. Spills backward of the pack. Kelly onto the loose ball, in trouble. Gets a hand pass away. Johnson cleverly and again stumbles. Controls. Short one on the bounce to Kelly. Kelly directly to Zaharakis, the man who won the Anzac Day medal not so long ago. Outstanding performance against Collingwood. 34 possessions. He comes out very wide. Watson at the interchange gates.
If Johnson's playing on Watson's, Tom, they'll be playing keepings off.
That's a nice pass.
They'll be playing on each other's bodies.
Cramry, 70 metres out, sends it long down towards full forward. Hurley is in this. Back in from the side, Goddard.
He came off ball then, Goddard. He ran from about the 50-metre arc on the other side of the ground, uncontested the whole way in and floated in, which we saw him do in the 2010 Grand Final. Very similar pattern in towards the ball, takes it at the highest point. Great mark.
Never forget that jump, Nick, that 10 metres out mark he took in that 2010 Grand Final. Unbelievable.
There he is then, 20 metres out, and a different jumper, and he kicks the goal. Scores a level.
Really important for the Bombers to respond to the early goal. Here's the build-up. I mean, Jobe uses the ball exceptionally well. That's a great hit up there. And Cramry is that sort of player who's going to present all day, launch himself at the contest, win in a contested situation. But Goddard, he's got to be watched pretty closely when he drifts forward like that.
Well, he's a big midfielder, isn't he? And that's the point. And he can mark above his head. So if he gets a run at a pack, he can jump on the pack. He didn't jump on the pack, then took the chest mark, but knows what he's doing in the air.
He kicked the opening goal of the match against the Saints, which would have pleased him greatly, and he gets the first goal tonight for the Bombers. Both these teams have been notoriously slow starters this season. For all the success they've had, they haven't been doing the job in the first term. It's been really third and fourth quarters. particularly where the Bombers are concerned in that fourth. So Kelly again out of the centre, tries to set it up for Johnson. Got an awkward bounce, went through his legs, and then Hocking on the up. Zaharakis, slow. Taylor Hunt running him down, and well done. Little give was terrific. Gets it back to centre half forward, and then Thurlow, first look at him, gets the ball right into that hot spot. Carlisle in trouble, doesn't get it away effectively. Hawkins, Myers was very good. Watson, well done. Handball a little bit loose though. On the up, Thurlow, well done to Hunt. Back to Hunt, getting it from Johnson. Thurlow looks a little bit like Stevie J at times. Early doors. Hawkins not quite over the line.
Hands in the back.
And a push in the back, hands in the back.
You can just see with Carlisle's positioning, for a young player, he's not afraid to stand in front and take the space away from the key forward, which is it's a great trait to have so early in your career, Tom.
Ebbett, half back then, about 3 miles. Dashing player normally. And a dashing kick though, although bounce is okay. Melcham feeds it forward. Gumbleton knocks it on, tracks it towards the boundary. Thurlow takes it across the boundary. So 6 wins apiece, 6 apiece in the early going at Etihad Stadium on a Friday night. West has been impressive. Very adroit at getting it behind himself. Not that time though. Bell Chambers won it. Watson's getting a free kick, pushed in the back.
Oh, Stevie, stay there.
He's come through the contest hard. I mean, that's just the marking contest that Hibbert got over the spoil. So
No confusion about that one. That's certainly a free kick, hands in the back, and the push also.
Hurley goes along the boundary, but the ball is coming back.
Throw it. All right, guys, keep your meter mark at the back.
The umpy. Almost up to half forward. Bell Chambers comfortably over the back. Watson getting a lot of the ball early. Just couldn't get an effective handball away. Well done there by Bartel to Motlop. Slung off it. And a boundary throw in.
the pressure's hot. Anyone who wants to win the footy tonight's going to have an opponent about to tackle him, and can they maintain the intensity? That's always a challenge, isn't it, physically?
So Blitzar's front spot. Howlett read it best. Howlett about 90 metres from goal, sets it up. Gumbleton front spot. Gee, had a lot of it. He's a little bit stiff maybe, and then Taylor puts the tackle on. It's interesting there, Mackie versus Gumbleton.
Real lost opportunity there for the Essendon Footy Club. You can see that the other forwards are trying to get that one-on-one with Gumbleton and Mackie. Potential advantage.
So Bell Chambers hooks it back. Kelly's been good early, can't get the kick away. Commer's little give. Zaharakis, high ball to fall forward. Held on too slightly. Did Goddard take the marker rather windily?
Well, I don't think he did, Bruce. I thought it came out.
He marked that. Thank you. Climb back on.
It's the classic case. You can hold your opponent out. You can't push. That's the controversy in the marking contest. But he held his ground with that stiff arm.
Good kick. Hits the post. Kicked a couple of very important set shots on Anzac Day. Back in the team.
Key to this game is going to be those sort of contests. If the Bombers can match the more physical cats, so more physically developed cats in the one-on-one situations.
Bartel down the middle. Hibbert, big leap, thumps it away. Hurley came after the footy. Kelly's been industrious so far. Duncan missed the target. Guthrie floating through. Myers grabs the footy. Hurried kick. Enright has to wait.
Push out, Farm.
Enright swings it wide. Now an opportunity as they build around the outer side. Motlop feeds it forward. Selwood back to Motlop. Runs beyond the wing. Probing kick inside the forward 50. Hall Smith going back with a flight of it. Almost a clever mark. Spills across towards Stokes. Slips a hand pass away to Hawkins. And he's missed the dartboard. It's gone out on the full.
Mark's up here. Christensen, no. Mark's
Just
here.
couldn't get the hook,
Mark's
Big
here.
Tom.
It's Goddard's kick.
You notice the Geelong style early. They're happy to flick it around with a lot of handballs, which I think means occasionally they're going to turn it over, but occasionally they're going to come through really free of pressure like they did on that occasion.
And Nick, that's generic, isn't it? With them, and they handball the ball a lot, don't they? I mean, kick to handball ratio. The Bombers are much more a kicking team.
And that's the way they've played for a number of years now, Geelong.
It's worked okay, I would have thought, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's been pretty successful.
So Howlett,
Play on.
what a fine player he's become. Common, they
Thanks,
must
Mark.
like him. I mean, he's come from nowhere really a year ago. They tried him out pre-season. He got onto their list and he's in their best 22 right now. Howlett gets it from Myers. Good looking kick. Cranberry on the up. Hardingham looks up. Lovely kick to Davey. Now this might stretch him though. This might be a metre or two outside his range.
The forward set up for the Bombers at the moment with Cranberry playing up and Gumbleton deep is really stretching Geelong on that third tall defender. On that occasion it was
Here's the mark.
Guthrie, I think, trailing up on Cranberry, which is a really tough physical matchup.
13 goals this year, 5-2 from the set shots. He's such a creative player. He's right on 50. He struck it okay, but always to the near side. Got the distance, but not that accuracy.
Got 4 goals last week, Alwyn. Have to reconsider, Bruce. He's dangerous when he does have the footy.
He certainly is this year, and maybe a bit of last as well.
Bartel, good kick. Duncan, fine player, takes the mark, sends it down towards half forward. Half volleyed nicely by Stokes. Holds up a teammate, Thurlow, who's made a very impressive start. The kick comes down towards half forward. Hacked out of there by Bagley. It goes across the boundary line on the fall.
Blitzards also pushed forward. He pushed right from half back and has taken Bell Chambers with him. Bell Chambers could play this and just plonk himself for the long kick. Blitzards will have to get him out of there.
Thurlow on debut, already 4 possessions. There's Martlow having a wonderful season. Short one, but it's coming back. Bombers lead it by 2, and they're playing the better at the moment. Come on, guys.
Back here, guys. It's back here.
Having a lot of trouble getting him on his line. I think we always put that under the umbrella of being just a bit pedantic, because, I mean, he's kicking out of 6 inches off his line. I guess.
This time last week, umpire Stavic was mic'd. We could have asked him what the heck's going on over there. Matt, here's Guthrie. He was okay last week too. Forward of the wing, just jabs it inside the forward 50. Plenty of Bombers around the football. Loose at the back, Zaharakis. Hand pass nicely. Hocking to Howlett. Fisted back inside the 50. Watson's got it now though. Measures the options. Goes back to the veteran.
Flex his kick. Asks a lot of Davey, and Taylor just belts the ball over the line. So that's a little win, I reckon, for us.
Amazing. Nicky tries to mark the ball against the big guys, and he spoils against the little fellas.
I don't think he knew it was Davey, did you?
You could have put your house that he was going to swallow that one up.
So West Bell Chambers. Essendon's way. Conger to Heppel. Could he get some space? He's brought down. Enright was a good tackle. It came from Selwood. Enright's kick is a good one to Stokes. What a fine player, what a fine season. I mean, he's averaging over 28. Take the sub out. When he subbed that day, he's over 28 disposals this season.
Stay there.
Another emerging player in Motlop, and then short, and gets Hawkins. So he's able to get away from Carlisle.
That all happened, wasn't it? Because Tate Pearce was the spare defender, but his opponent was upfield. I think it was Christensen, and he just basically allowed, he was just, I'm not sure he marked the boot, allowed the Essendon player to run past him, just missed who it was.
And you'd think that's the area where Hawkins is going to have control. He's a much bigger body, much stronger. Carlisle's very athletic, but if he's in a position where he can push and then go, Hawkins will be favoured every time.
Well, he's been so accurate from set shots this year, Hawkins, and that one he's just pushed.
All clear, Adam.
So he misses.
Not Pearce, that's Myers I was talking about, who didn't come back with to cover the extra blow.
So a couple of shots on goal for Hawkins. One he completely missed, and that one pushed it away.
Cunningham kicks it directly to Bartel. Bartel plays on immediately. Thurlow, love his game so far. On the lead, Smets. He's about 55 metres out and in trouble. Well, had a problem. Coughed it up. Zaharakis to Heppel. Bartel with the head down might get a free kick. Bartel inside the centre square. So a chance to regroup for the Cats.
Plays a lot of footy across half-back now, Jimmy Bartel, and forming that line across the middle of the ground.
Blitzards in front and working behind. Stokes has taken the mark about 35 metres out. So off and the way. Kicks a 3D sometimes, well, just about every time. And some players see it in 1D.
That free kick was played by the umpire 50 metres away. I reckon the umpire who saw that probably adjudicated. In fact, there wasn't any high contact on Bartel.
Stokes was the man who judged the depth of that kick. Here he is, 40 metres out then. Kick is on the way and does what Hawkins failed to do. He puts it through. So the margin is 5 points. Geelong on top, 13 plays 8 midway through this first term on Friday Night Football. Sell-out crowd, as we told you. And why not? Both these sides making the running to start this season. That kick came in, and Stokes with superior judgment. The smallest man within 50 metres of that ball, but knew what the footy was going to do and it found its way onto his chest.
And Dennis, you've commented a number of times about Jackson Thurlow wearing the number of triple premiership player David Wojcinski. Really strong raps on him as a sort of Joel Corey Enright clone, the young Taswegian.
First round draft pick for the Cats last year, Thurlow. So in fact, he was taken at 16 and the next was 77, and then after that it was a 90 odd, so he was clearly their choice.
We came here with big expectations. After 15 minutes, this is two good teams in form. Great pressure, great game.
What you expected, Lee?
Yeah, what you hoped for. Yeah.
Heppel held up. West does well. Selwood, well done by Comer. Got down low and then maybe unluckily didn't get one from... He does now.
Around his neck. Around his neck.
It did look that the first contact. So Nick Comer to Watson, and then Watson out wide. Melsham. He's only missed one game in about the last 50-odd, Melsham, and that was a couple of weeks ago. Goes short. Zaharakis, such an intelligent, dynamic player. Gee, that's a good mark, isn't it? At full stretch from Cranberry.
Okay, now.
So often looks like he's going to run under the footy, but then at the last minute he's got that leap from the front spot and the high extension of the arms above his head. He marks so often like that.
Now he's 10 goals too from set shots. This is a very difficult kick. Tight angle, long way out. I mean, this would be something if he could go the distance and have the accuracy at the same time. And he sets it up about 5 metres out, a couple of big flies, one coming from Bell Chambers into behind. The black armbands, by the way, for the Bombers tonight. Bob Tobias, a trainer, passed away. He was with the team for 20 years, including the 93 and 2000 premierships. So in honour of Bob Tobias tonight for the Bombers.
Bartel, short to the pocket.
Dennis, just quickly an update on Taylor Hunt. He's headed down to the Geelong rooms. He's done his right shoulder. The docs are checking him out. He's been off the ground for about 10 minutes now. He ran into Jake Melksham, so we'll keep an eye on whether or not a sub's made.
Yeah, bad news there. Very important to them. There's Goddard sending it back inside the 50. Courageous mark. Terrific mark. Zaharakis. Bartel coming hard. Zaharakis knew somebody was.
He's a better player than a lot of people give him credit for, David Zaharakis. He's right at the top of his game. And just see Taylor Hunt there. That's a potential massive blow. He's not got the run with job with Joe Watson, but maybe a David Zaharakis in the future.
Yeah. Bereston Best 2 seasons ago. Wasn't a stellar season for the Bombers, but gee, he came on an early season injury this year, and he tugs this kick to the left. Late starter, but he got warm on Anzac Day.
So Essendon just 1 goal from 4 set shots so far tonight. They haven't been easy, but they're missing them.
Move it on. Play on.
Motlop to Guthrie.
Hold there, Nick.
Such an inexperienced team, this Geelong team. It's quite amazing. Here's Kelly. He's not one of the inexperienced. He's one of those triple premiership players out there. We've got a couple of triple premiership players that are not playing tonight in Corey and Chapman, and a dual premiership player in Josh Hunt. So 3 guys that would probably come in at some stage, certainly over the next month. Guthrie. And then Haaland Smith short. And now Johnson, so creative through the mid, and then squeezes the ball.
High tackle.
But not a good result. It's Hocking.
Stop Hocking. Back of the head.
Gee, what a difference Hocking made last week when he came on as a sub.
That extra strong body in the middle, it just complements their group.
Fletcher took a while. Eventually to Heppel. Heppel goes wide to Zaharakis again. He's about 60 metres out. Only one Essendon player inside the forward 50. Now a couple. As Gumbleton floods back, this is Hibbard. He's got the ball about 70 metres out to Fletcher.
Geelong now with every player set up behind the ball, so you'd imagine Essendon will be quite happy to just chip it around and wait until they can find an opening and penetrate inside 50.
Nottingham, who got it from Bagley, kicks it down towards half forward, taken by Hooker. So Hooker, about 75 metres out, wants some movement. Bell Chambers is offering, sends the ball in that direction. West has a run. Will he get there in time? Split the pack. Taken by Myers. He snaps towards goal. Hangs it out to the left behind.
He's been good, Myers. I mean, it took a long time. He's a high draft pick. He took 4 or 5 seasons really to establish himself. Few injuries, but he's found his spot. Big-bodied midfielder. Mackie. Back to Guthrie, back to Hall and Smith, danger, clever, well played to Smith. Now they open it up, Motlop away, one bounce two, Johnson wanting to get involved, Motlop uncertain now, has a little stimmy and stabby, and then loads it up and says, I'll do it myself. And he didn't quite. I reckon Stevie J missed him up a bit.
I think it's been Stephen J had to tell him to keep coming. I mean, he wanted to receive the footy when really he was in control of being able to create the path for Motlop to really just break the 50-metre line easily.
Ah, yes, but there's no accounting for genius. Just ran off the rails there, Stevie J. Took his man to the ball carrier. And Motlop didn't expect that. Bill Chambers has got the footy now. Short one. Kelly almost, but Howlett, fifth in the best and fairest last season. Centering ball to Carlisle, who flirts with the idea of going. Doesn't. Goes across the ground. Hooker's got it now. On the move on the wing is Hurley. Ignores that. Goes deeper. Melksham. Melksham is about 75 metres out. Lays it off. Winderlich has it now. Well, made to look okay by Myers. That was going to be chopped off. It was a poor kick. But Myers got across, and as I say, made it look terrific.
This has probably been the most impressive. We just see the injury to Taylor Hunt here where he's hurt his shoulder. Just right on the point of contact it was, which is a nasty one. But the build-up from the Bombers, where they've really improved is their kicking efficiency. They're absolutely elite. Controlled the tempo of that play, and Myers the end result.
Myers from 50 there. Gives it a ride. He's a strong kick, and that's no exception. Bombers back in front. Well, no way in the wide world that was intended for him. You saw Enright was leading the man I think it was intended for towards the ball, and then suddenly ghosting across in front of the pack was Myers, and that was a really gutsy mark, knowing where the traffic was.
They're moving the ball well out of defence, yes, and they almost look like scoring better when they can slingshot the ball out of their back 50, but they're the kind of goals you've got to kick more than 50% of if you're going to win.
Well, a lot of coaches now spend time down on the bench, but it's a rarity for Chris Scott. You can see him talking there with Stevie Johnson. He really needs that middle part of the ground fixed up. Jobe Watson's had the 6 touches, Zaharakis 9. Essendon moving the ball far too easy.
And right on cue there, Lingy, because Watson out of the centre. Saw Myers a moment ago. He averaged 9 games in his first 5 seasons, Myers. He really struggled to get a foothold in this team, but that was a great kick from a brilliant mark.
Talk about the value of Heath Hocking for the Bombers, Bruce. Selwood just a 1 touch so far this game.
And of course, the Cats have lost their run with play, haven't they, in Taylor Hunt? So, good omen there for Essendon. Watson, Howlett, gets it to Bell Chambers, off a step to full forward. Gumbleton in a good spot. Flying Winderlich, good tackle on Thurlow. Davey, Hurley hooks, doesn't quite get enough on it.
Gee, they look dangerous down there, the Bombers. Yeah. They look undersized, Geelong.
Gumbleton's the one, isn't he? You feel like he's got a height advantage every time the ball comes in high. It hasn't quite stuck for him yet.
When you've got 3, they're a genuine 3 turn idea. We'll get back to that point.
Keeler's kick. Hibbert goes after it. Hall and Smith on one knee. Foxed it out. Podsy Adley, haven't called his name too often. Kicks it up towards the wing. Bombers lead in all directions to the footy. Carlisle takes the mark. Plays on. Comes to Zaharakis, who's been a live wire. On the move is Winderlich. Winderlich is marked just forward of the interchange gates. Again, Commer offers. They're putting themselves about up ahead of the ball, the Bombers. They're anxious to get it, and that's a good sign. Winderlich takes something off this kick, just setting it up. Hurley comes at the pack. Gumbleton up in front, spills behind, and taken across the line by Guthrie. Lost his compass. And the umpire says, well, it happens to a lot of people. It'll be tossed in.
The point before was Essendon do have 3 really key, strong marking targets, and not many clubs have the 3 defenders to man up on that. It's a challenge for the Cats.
Good tackle on Commer, and then off the ground by West. Duncan has to wait and ride the tide that came at him. He knew they were, and a ball up.
They haven't taken their shots, Essendon, obviously 2-5, but they've taken half a dozen inside 50 marks. The last 3 weeks, Geelong are averaging about 9 or 10 against in a whole game, so they've started well.
Goddard can't quite get that handball away. Zaharakis gets a bit on that, gets to centre half forward. Big flight in the back from Hall and Smith. Zaharakis waited, good hands to Bill Chambers, to Fletcher off a step. Was it touched on the way through, or was it out on the fall? It's out on the fall. So Fletcher, as we talked about at the start of the match, 38 during the week. Only the 3rd player in the last 85 years. The other tuck and Bradley to have played at that age. It's a remarkable effort.
Zaharakis up to 12 possessions, and now we've got an infringement.
Played on over the boundary line, so it's out of bounds.
I was looking up ahead.
He came in, then went back over the line.
A big explanation by Stevic. Just under 3 minutes till quarter time. Taylor Hunt, that's bad news. Sung his praises before the game. Podsiadly taps it down. Guthrie scuffs a kick. 13 possessions now for Zaharakis. Selwood knew that and wanted to see how fast he could rack them up limping. Ball goes out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in.
Dennis, you just mentioned Taylor Hunt putting the ice on the shoulder. He's done for the night. He's got the red vest. Young Jordan Schroeder's just taking the green vest on. He'll join the game shortly.
Okay. So a couple of rookies in the action now for the Cats. Harry looking for a free kick. Blitzabs tries to get it out. Commas over the football. Christensen tackled by Winderlich. Ball jarred out of there. Johnson goes back to Bartel. Deep in his own defensive area. Measured the kick to Duncan. Now they're away. Mackey through midfield. Long telling kick to the outer side. This will be interesting. Bagley should be nervous. Motlop's got the football. He's up on his toes. Bagley comes to him now. Cat and mouse. Hand pass comes. That was an anti-climax. Gave it across towards Thurlow. Kicks it down towards the pocket. And the ball runs out of bounds. We'll have a throw in.
You know, sides are playing good football when they do the real basics well, and that manning the mark is something that probably doesn't get lauded all that often.
Do you just feel like Geelong have played themselves on into trouble a few times? They've wasted a few opportunities going forward.
Yep.
West lays it down to Hall-and-Smith. Saw Schroeder a moment ago. Hall-and-Smith's handball. Back to Bagley, who played that a moment ago very cleverly, didn't he? And then Goddard to Comma. I mean, Geelong really looked on, didn't they, when Motlop took that mark?
Motlop is the one. He messed that up a little bit, but he's the one who really looks the most dangerous for Geelong centre forward.
Taylor belts it away. Comma getting a bit of the ball early, takes his man on, gets around Enright. Howlett, Comma, still with Comma, showing a bit of poise, and then hooking the ball back. Cranberry and Lonergan, and that was pretty easy for the defender. Belted the ball over the line. So at the moment, nothing in the scoreboard, but you feel like Essendon, I mean, certainly the Taylor Hunt's a massive blow. I mean, do Geelong have a run with player now for the rest of the night, or do they just go orthodox? Certainly Hocking will be running with Selwood, who copped the high one. Johnson going backwards for a moment, thinking, bouncing, handballing, creating. Christensen, Taylor sweeping. Now Mackey's a good kick, but he can't get away from Davey. He's just as dangerous without it, Dennis.
I think you're right, Bruce. Heppel intended for Zaharakis, knocked away by Selwood, and the ball spills out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in. The Bombers lead it by 3.
He might have only had the 2 possessions so far, Joel Selwood, but his ability to crash a body, create a contest is second to none in the competition.
Brings an attitude, doesn't he?
4 tackles leading all comers in that category.
Throwing out aside Gumbleton. He'll ruck well if he's left alone like that. Got it down to Watson. Melksham. Goddard feeds it back. Hibbert, not a natural right footer, but that's okay. Comes to Carlisle. The clock to 44 seconds. Carlisle has the bounce. Looks back inside the centre square. Leads his runner to the football. And Melksham couldn't take his eyes off the footy. Is marked down towards half forward. Johnson picks up the mark to space on the lead. Winderlich getting a fist in there. Guthrie. Opportunity for Enright. Winderlich again. Guthrie came again. Knocked the ball across towards Christensen. Christensen runs away. Kicks it out towards the wing. And this ball will trickle out of bounds. And the clock will stop at 16 seconds.
Great spoil, isn't it?
Yep.
Just to get there, get the fist, no pressure on the body, just fist to the footy.
Will Chambers takes it clearly against West and then belting the ball forward. Hurley coming in hard on. Thurlow's made a big impression. So the big news of the first quarter, Taylor Hunt gone for the night with a shoulder. Schroeder gets a run.
Next rock, step right, come!
No surprise, Lovett Murray the sub for the Bombers.
Push.
So Geelong free kick.
Hold there.
Zaharakis 13 disposals in the opening term. And what a great first quarter. Just what we wanted, expected here. Sell out Friday night footy. And it's Essendon leading Geelong. It's 17-14.